The episode opens up with Dong Chan and Marin driving back home in awkward silence. While in the car, Marin hides her face and avoids eye contact with Dong Chan. Before Marin leaves for home, Dong Chan asks her if she has something to say to him. She replies with a no and immediately walks inside her house. However, sometime later, Marin calls Dong Chan and apologizes to him for the sudden kiss. She then confesses that she actually kissed him because she thought that she was going to die. Listening to this, Dong Chan tells her that she does not need to apologize and suggests she take a rest. On the other hand, Marin assumes that Dong Chan does not want to forgive her and tells him that she will be waiting for her punishment. The following day, Dong Chan speaks with Detective Young about the prior suspect for attacking Gi Bam, Nikolai, and learns that he has been murdered, removing him from the list of potential murderers. Unbeknownst to them, a young man in a black coat is eavesdropping on their conversation. After not getting any clue about the attacker, Dong Chan returns to the research lab and goes through the other frozen males to see if he could get any clues. While watching over the frozen volunteers, Dong Chan looks at the person who looks like Lee Seok-do for a long time. Meanwhile, Byung-sim searches for a studio to rent nearby Marin and luckily finds a suitable one on top of Marin's apartment. He then calls the owner of the rooftop studio, and surprisingly, the phone is picked up by Marin's father. At first, Marin's father tries to avoid the male customer, but when Byung-sim tells him that he is a college professor, he starts talking to him politely. Later, while Dong Chan is returning from the lab, Hung Seok and the former CEO of the broadcasting firm call him and then invite him to dinner. To his surprise, when he arrives at the restaurant and sits with Hung Suk and the ex-CEO, they are joined by Lee Seok-do. Hung Suk introduces Seok-do as the chairman of the Yuzin group. Dong Chan examines him closely and is struck by how much he resembles the frozen man from the lab. Meanwhile, Marin is facing problems whenever she thinks of Dong Chan. Her body temperature rises. Because of this, she walks out of the house to get some fresh air, and at the same time, Byung-sim arrives with her father to visit the studio. During this time, Marin calls Dong Chan, and we notice that things are still a little awkward for them. The next day, Hyun Kai arrives at the office to inform everyone about new sexual harassment policies, and to clarify that there should be no physical contact between employees. Hearing this, Marin and Dong Chan feel a little bit uncomfortable. They subsequently meet in private, where Marin apologizes again and promises to compensate him for the kiss. In the following scene, Ha-yeon receives a phone call from a lady claiming to know the person who blew up Professor Gi Bam's car. She expresses her desire to meet Ha-yeon and tell her more about the person, but on one condition. Ha-yeon needs to bring Dong Chan with her. Ha-yeon then calls Dong Chan to her office and tells him everything about the phone call. After hearing her out, Dong Chan agrees to accompany her and asks Ha-yeon to collect some information on Chairman Lee Seok-do, mentioning that it is urgent. Afterward, Hong Suk and Hyun Kai interrogate Marin and Dong Chan separately and question them about one another. To their dismay, they only have positive things to say about each other and mostly praise other attitude and passion to work. Soon later, Kyun-ya and Yuya arrive at the broadcasting station to meet Marin. As Yuya is overjoyed to see Marin after all these years, she spots Dong Chan walking nearby and informs Marin that he is the one she indicated while telling about her future and starting episodes, the one whom Marin was supposed to meet after 20 years. Next, Dong Chan comes to Marin's work desk and suggests she visit Hongdae to check out the latest trends and start living like a 20-year-old. Later in the evening, Marin receives a call from Jae-hoon, who offers to accompany her out of town and explore Hongdae. On the other hand, Byung-sim carefully transfers his belongings to the top floor studio, while Nam-T is looking after H-Wang. Here, H-Wang tells Nam-T that he initiated the cryonics project to aid individuals like him and help them find a treatment in the future. At night, Dong Chan visits Gi Bam at the laboratory to discuss their body temperature issues, and he wonders why he can't use more than one remedial shot every day. Hearing this, Gi Bam replies that if they continue using the injection regularly, their body will ultimately develop immunity to the vaccine and it may stop showing results, which might be fatal. The following day, Marin and Jae-hoon have some fun looking at different trends in Hongdae, while Dong Chan goes to finalize the filming location. The two send pictures to each other about what they are doing. Marin and Jae-hoon enjoy their time at the Hongdae festival and also play some games. Meanwhile, Dong Chan works late and stays at the hotel nearby the shoot location. Surprisingly, Ha-young is also there and intends to stay at the same hotel as Dong Chan in the hopes of meeting him alone. To her dismay, despite her calling Dong Chan and telling him about her whereabouts, he does not come to her room and she is forced to spend the night crying alone. The following day, Marin returns to the workplace with a gift for Dong Chan, and at the same time, receives a text from Kyung-ya begging her to lend her some money to repair her phone. Marin believes in this and transfers all money from her account to the account number mentioned in the message. After transmitting the funds, she receives a call from Kyung-ya who informs her that she has not asked for any money. Hearing this, Marin quickly realizes that she has been the victim of a scam and rushes to the police station to register the crime. When the officer tells her that they cannot do anything about it, Marin becomes sad and goes to a pub. Right then, Dong-chan receives a message through the smart band that Marin's body temperature is increasing as she begins drinking heavily in a pub. He then rushes to her location and finds her sitting on the side of the road. When he approaches Marin, she informs him that he no longer has to be concerned about her. To her surprise, he warns her that if she continues to behave like this, he will start falling for her. Following this, the two come closer and the temperature on their wristbands gradually rises. Despite her asking Dong-chan to go away, he buys her an ice cream and does not say anything. After this, Marin inquires as to whether he is still dating Ha-young. Dong-chan denies it but warns her to not get closer to him as it will be dangerous for both of them. He also makes her understand that whenever one of them comes closer, they need to react quickly and move away to keep their body temperature in control. The following day, Hong-suk visits Ha-young at her office and requests her to cover the news establishing him as a person who was in charge of the cryonic experiment. He also mentions that he wants to do so because his political party wants to gain popularity using the trending topic. When Ha-young refuses to do so, he lures her by offering the position of CEO and tells her that she can be the first female president of the broadcasting company. Afterward, before attending an important meeting, Marin encounters Ha-young in the bathroom, where Ha-young suggests she be careful and not let others know her real story of being a part of the cryonics experiment. Ha-young also mentions that she does not want to see Dong-chan get hurt because of her. Late at night, Dong-chan talks with Ha-young in her office room, where she presents to him the information she managed to gather about Lee Seok-do. Dong-chan reads the file and gets to know that Lee Seok-do became the Unsung Company's president. He also finds a surprising fact that Seok-do was in a coma for 50 years, until suddenly waking up, defying the odds. Ha-young then eventually tells him about her night in the hotel room, and wonders why he didn't come to her room. He sighs and tells her that he doesn't feel the same way she does, upsetting her immensely. Some time later, Ha-young receives a call from the same lady who claimed to be the witness to Gi Bam's car explosion, and says that she's on her way to her office. While Dong-chan and Ha-young are waiting for the lady to arrive, the lady's car gets surrounded by some unknown people, compelling her driver to take it to a silent place. Here, she is dragged by her driver and is brought in front of her brother-in-law, Lee Hyung-do. He is the same person who is walking around, pretending to be Lee Seok-do. We discover that he has been living under the disguise of his brother and asks her if she knows where Seok-do is. Desperate to save her husband, Lee Seok-do, the lady lies to her brother-in-law and tells him that she has no idea where her husband is and also assures Lee Hyung-do to continue living as his brother. Elsewhere, after going through the divorce papers, young Sun enters her son's room and is surprised to see a photo of him and Marin on his phone. Meanwhile, we see Byung-sim trying to get settled in his new apartment, meeting Nam-T, and conversing with Marin's parents. In the next scene, Dong-chan drives Ha-young back to her house and apologizes for leaving her alone for so long. He also reveals that he no longer loves her and has zero feelings for her. Hearing this, Ha-young becomes sad and asks him if his heart now beats for someone else. The following morning, Jae-hoon receives a call from the same broadcasting firm informing him that he has been hired as an intern. He then goes to tell the same to her mother, but finds her drinking, looking at the divorce papers. At the office, Dong-chan meets with Marin in the editing room and reveals to her why he enjoys his job. He mentions that he just wants to make people happy and let them forget their miseries. He believes that Marin must try and do the same with their next program. Despite promising to stay apart, Dong-chan changes his mind and drives Marin to her home. On their way, she receives a call from Jae-hoon, informing her that he has been hired as an intern. Seeing Marin smiling and flirting, Dong-chan becomes envious and begins asking her questions about the boy on the other side of the phone. To his dismay, she replies that he does not need to know about him. Soon, Dong-chan drops Marin home and at the same time, Byung-sim notices them together. Byung-sim then decides to make a video for Dong-chan, like in movies, warning him to stay away from his lady and claims that he has stolen his girlfriend. At night, Dong-chan sits to have dinner with his family and discusses missing Dong-ju and who she could be seeing. Meanwhile, Marin heads to the top floor and finally finds out that Byung-sim has been staying there with his family. She then immediately calls Young Sun and informs her about Byung-sun staying at her house. Within a few minutes, Young Sun arrives there and heads towards Byung-sim, carrying a frying pan. The next day, after watching the video of Byung Sim, Dong Chan meets Byung Sim in person and offers him a role in the program. Byung Sim also immediately agrees to be in the program. At the same time, an article describing Marin's identity and how she earned the position in the broadcasting firm is sent to everyone. After reading the article, Dong Chan searches for her everywhere, and when he finds her worried, he swears to protect her. He then embraces her and asks her to calm down. Following this, Dong Chan advises Marin to be strong and confident since she did nothing wrong. After this, the two start feeling a lot closer to one another. Next, Dong Chan returns to the meeting room where the rest of the team is discussing the recent Marin discovery. One of the staff questions him about the story and whether Marin was employed because of the cryonic experiment. He responds with a yes and then goes on to explain why he did so. In the next scene, Professor H. Wang sneaks inside the lab and opens the safe to obtain the temperature antidote, but not before his student, Gi Bam, surprises him. During their conversation, H. Wang hands him his research journal, which causes him to have flashbacks, recovering all of his memories. Moving on, Dong Chan is informed by Hyan Kai that they have traced a middle school girl from whose computer the article was uploaded, but believe that her account was hacked. Meanwhile, Marin publishes a lengthy public post on social media explaining that she has lost 20 years and is now an intern since she cannot find work elsewhere, pleading with people to give her a chance. She also writes that though she got the job as compensation from the broadcasting company, she promises to work hard and be a valuable employee of the company. At a restaurant, Kyan Yao reads Marin's public post and tells Young Sun that Marin has the capacity to handle every situation and appreciates her courage. However, a depressed Young Sun tells her closest friend that her son also has a crush on Marin. Hearing this, Kyan Yao gets shocked and states that she assumed Young Sun to be the author of the post about Marin. Young Sun immediately refuses to do so and mentions that she can never do that to one of her best friends. Meanwhile, Byung Sim tells Marin's parents about his actual identity and expresses his feelings for their daughter. This causes Marin's mother to become angry, and she kicks him in the head and threatens to call the cops. Right then, Nam T interrupts them to inform them about Marin's public post. In the following scene, Ha Young and Dong Chan learn that Lee Seok-doo's wife has died unexpectedly of a sudden heart attack. Dong Chan then suggests Ha Young to broadcast the call recording in which she talked with Seok-doo's wife directly. Unfortunately, Lee Hyun-doo reads Marin's social media post and learns through his assistant that Professor H. Wang is still alive and living at Marin's residence. At the office, after finding out that Byung Sim will be a guest in her new show, Marin heads out of the office room and suddenly bumps into Jae-hoon at the entrance on his first day. The two begin talking to each other and Dong Chang notices them together and becomes envious. While Hyan Kai advises Marin on how to behave with Dong Chan, the latter meets with his former videographer and inquires whether he still has the recordings of the experiment from 20 years ago. During the evening news, Ha Young reveals that she kept Marin's real identity hidden to keep her safe. They also display Gi Bam's car explosion and the voice recording of Lee Seok's wife, who wished to meet them and inform them about her husband. Sadly, Marin feels ill and decides to take a rest. Dong Chang discovers Marin on one of the beds when he realizes she is unwell. They both admit to liking one another, increasing their body temperature. Dong Chan then feels irritated as he caresses her head. Meanwhile, Professor H. Wang is abducted on his way home and transported to a secluded location where the fake Lee Seok-doo arrives and threatens him, pointing a gun at him. He threatens to kill Marin and Dong Chan unless Professor H. Wang turns off the remaining cryonic chambers. Jae-hoon also learns from his mother that Marin was his father's first love, and she is the reason he wants a divorce. The next day, Marin and Dong Chan go out to look for filming places for their new program. However, their journey is cut short when Dong Chang receives a phone call from Ha Young. She informs him that they have recognized the voice in the call recording as Lee Seok-doo's wife. In the last scene, Professor H. Wang dismisses his assistant, Gi Bam, and proclaims that he will be in charge of the lab from now on. Dong Chan arrives just in time to stop him from turning off all the machinery. He asks him to assist them in living a regular life since they want to be together. The episode concludes with Dong Chan taking Marin out for a site investigation and kissing her passionately without taking any breaks in between. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like and comment if you think we should make the next part. Thank you.